Thank you very much. And I apologize, I don't speak Spanish. I know poquito español, so I'm sorry you have to endure English. I did hear Eric mention a little bit about Certiport and the exclusive Pew Academy being this exclusive provider. So thank you for that. And I always love working with Pew Academy. So I'm here just to talk a little bit about what Project Management Ready is and how it's used and how it's applicable everywhere, really. So on the screen, we have just a few examples of how project management has been used in the past. It's everywhere. Like you can see, project management is an essential skill required in everything from architecture to space programs, Olympics, gaming, everywhere. So project management is that skill that is really becoming a life skill. I had someone describe it recently saying, back in the early 2000s, computer courses were required and it was a class you went to. But now computer classes are part of everything that we do. And I see project management about the same. Right now, we would have a project management class, but I imagine in 10 years down the road, project management is going to be so ingrained in our schools and in our jobs that it's going to become like a skill that's ingrained in everything. So there's just a few examples there. If you could advance the slide, Eric. Thank you. So project management is obviously very much in demand. This is a graph on the right showing the most in-demand tech skills, which project management is by far the most in demand. There's also a study that shows it's the most in demand overall. So there's tech skills where it's the top, and overall skills, it's the second most important, and that's only to communication, which is obviously part of project management as well. You can't have a project manager without communication. So very in demand. It's a safe bet for any student or professional. Project management fits in classes from coding to construction. We have engineers take it. We even have art students take it because you have to be able to manage timelines or resources or communicate to people. So it really is super broad. There is a projected growth for project management. It's expected to grow by 33%. And that is, worldwide. I think the number is actually a little higher in the US because PMI is really pushing and really well known in the US. So it's just a fast growing field. If you could advance, thank you. So Project Management Ready is made to be an entry-level certification for people interested in getting into the project management field. We have a lot of high school or primary education that are using it, but it's also very applicable to working professionals, universities, colleges, anyone who wants to take that first step. So it's made to be geared towards jobs such as an event coordinator, a junior project manager, assistant project manager, implementation manager. There are all kinds of jobs that have a different title, but they're all very similar in regards that they require someone to know how to use schedules, how to plan resources, communicate with stakeholders. And so when someone passes the Project Management Ready exam, they certify competence in knowing basic project management terminology. We also cover in that exam traditional kind of waterfall-based project management and also adaptive or hybrid or agile project management as well. So students who take that are already familiar with these terms that a lot of us working adults enter the field and we might say, what's agile? I've never heard of that before. And so it's covered in this exam so that people who pass it, they already have an understanding of whatever project management methodology an organization is using, and they can kind of hit the ground running. So currently, the PMR Project Management Ready exam is available in English. It's been released, I think, for a little over a year now. We had a lot of great feedback for the exam. And so we've taken that teacher feedback and customer feedback, and we're working on kind of an enhancement and overhaul, if you will, that is going to be released the end of April. So like I say, right now you can take it in English. We actually have plans to localize or translate the new Project Management Ready exam, and that'll be ready in August of this year. So expect to see that soon. We're very excited to have that finally in another language. But the English exam will be ready in April, and that's going to come with new course material, new practice test, and the existing Project Management Ready exam will eventually be overwritten by this replacement in July. So July 1st is when we're targeting the overwrite. Teachers who are using it, there's not going to be an interruption to school schedules. You can still be taking version 1. Even when this is released in April, we're not going to, it's mostly as a demo, so you can see it. But we don't want to interrupt any testing season. With that said, the 2 exams, although we built this one completely different, we did not reuse questions, we did not reuse objective domains. They still cover the same concepts, but we think that this next one that we're doing is more targeted and a little more simple. So instead of having a broad range of really complex terminology for younger students to understand, this next one is very more entry-level terminology. So instead of going through the process groups and having students know what is initiation and monitoring, controlling, and executing, we're instead saying, how do you start the project? How do you ensure that anything that comes up can be taken care of, for risks? And so the terminology is a little bit lighter. And also what we're testing on is more targeted. There's a lot of content in this first exam. And so we're just simplifying that a little bit more to only test on the necessary components to be familiar with project management concepts. So the learning timeline is about the same. We will have a cert prep practice test, which will be powered by Gmetrics, available in April. It'll be a 50-question demo that anybody can see. We'd be happy to get you a free access to that. And also, we're having course material developed by CCI. They have a new, they call it XEd or Experience Ed platform, and it is very teacher friendly. So the reason why I chose them is because we have currently PMI's version of course content, and we also have More Solutions, which is more of a self-paced learner content. It can be teacher friendly, but because we are going to offer a PMI endorsed course as well, in addition to More Solutions, this CCI course is PMI's stamp of approval on it. They will be involved. They are currently actually involved in helping develop the courseware, and it will be localized into Spanish as well. I don't know the timeline on that. We're targeting August, but because it's so much more content than the exam, it might be delayed. But it's a fantastic resource. It has lesson plans. It has a pre-test so that teachers or students can go into the course. They can take the pre-test, and everything that you pass, you won't be shown. So it's adaptive. You don't need to study content that you're already competent in. And it has different learning modes. So you can be video-based. You can just read an e-textbook, or you can do a hybrid approach of the two. So again, expect that to be released sometime this year. I'm expecting it hopefully, by October, but I'm still waiting on dates for our localization team to get back to us on that. But that's the summary. I think, is that all?